Bonjour, je m'appelle Miss McKay. That means hello, my name is Miss McKay, and I will be reading a book to you today. I'll be reading the story Madeleine. The reason why I chose this book is because my family is actually from France, and I have visited the Eiffel Tower, and this book takes place in Paris. My grandmother came to America on a boat when she was 16 years old from France, and she moved to New York City. And from her, I learned how to speak French, and I'll be reading this book to you today about a little girl named Madeleine who lives in Paris, and she lives at an all-girls home. In an old house in Paris, covered with vines, lived 12 little girls in 2 straight lines. Here's their house in Paris, and here is all of the girls and the caretaker that takes care of them. In 2 straight lines, they broke their bread and brushed their teeth and went to bed. They smiled at the good and frowned at the bad, and sometimes they were very, very sad. They left the house at 9:30 in 2 straight lines, in rain or shine. Here they are walking in the rain in Paris, and here they are walking on a sunny day. You can see them right down there, 2 straight lines of 12 little girls that live together. The smallest one was Madeleine. She was not afraid of mice. She's very brave. She loved winter, snow, and ice. And to the tiger in the zoo, Madeleine just said, "Pooh pooh." She was not even afraid of a giant tiger. She's so brave, even though she was the smallest little girl. And nobody knew so well how to frighten Miss Clavel. Miss Clavel was the lady that we saw in all these pictures, walking around with them. She's their caretaker. In the middle of the night, Miss Clavel turned on her light and said, "Something is not right." I did a French accent for Miss Clavel because they are living in Paris. Little Madeleine sat in bed, cried and cried. Her eyes were red. And soon after Dr. Cohn came, he rushed out to the phone and dialed Danton 10-6. "Nurse," he said, "it's an appendix." So the doctor came to their house, and Madeleine was crying and crying, and she has to get her appendix taken out. An appendix is a part of your body that can be removed if it gets injured or sick. Everybody had to cry. Not a single eye was dry. Madeleine was in his arm in a blanket, safe and warm. In a car with a red light, they drove out into the night. So now Madeleine is going in the ambulance to go to the hospital. Madeleine woke up 2 hours later in a room with flowers. She's in the hospital now. Madeleine soon ate and drank. On her bed there was a crank and a crack on the ceiling that had the habit of sometimes looking like a rabbit. She spends many days at the hospital after her surgery to heal. Outside there were birds, trees, and sky, and so 10 days quickly passed by. One nice morning, Miss Clavel said, "Isn't it a fine day to visit Madeleine?" So all the girls went in, all 11 girls went into the straight lines and got some flowers to go visit Madeleine in the hospital. Visitors from 2 to 4 read a sign outside her door. Tiptoeing with solemn face, with some flowers and a vase, In they walked and said, "Ah," when they saw the toys and candy and the dollhouse from Papa. She was in the hospital for 10 days, so people sent her toys and treats so that she wouldn't be sad in the hospital when she was healing. But the biggest surprise by far on her stomach was a scar. She was so proud of that cool scar from her surgery, and she's showing her friends. "Goodbye," they said. "We'll come again." And the little girls left in the rain. They went home, broke their bread, brushed their teeth, and went to bed. See, there's a missing person in the bed. That's Madeleine's bed, but she's not there. She's still in the hospital. In the middle of the night, Miss Clavel turned on the light and said, "Something is not right." And afraid of disaster, she ran. Miss Clavel ran fast and faster. And then she said, "Please, children, do tell me what is troubling you." And all the little girls cried, "Boo-hoo. We want to have our appendix out too." They thought that Madeleine was having so much fun in the hospital because she got toys sent to her and treats, but really Madeleine was a very brave little girl. "Good night, little girls. Thank the Lord you are well. Now go to sleep," said Miss Clavel. And she turned out the light and closed the door, and that's all there is. There isn't any more. The end. Thank you for reading this book with me. I hope you enjoyed it.